Hi, this is Renee Kent Miller, and we are back after a long hiatus. We have been busy.
Hiatus? Writing a second book.
So we have The Acquiescence of Humanity coming soon, probably in about another month. It'll be available on Amazon. It will be
Part of a series of the augmentation of man.
And we've done a few things differently. We have added more of our interpretation. We did ask the ancients, our mentors, if that was acceptable. And I think it is because we have a better grasp on the material now.
So students can understand it better.
So we've made a few changes. It is a little bit longer because we've added more of our interpretation. So we're not doing a chapter glossary. We're going to have one glossary in the back of the book. Those are just a couple of changes. Expect it out in December, on Amazon. We're going through a different publisher. So today we're going to pick up where we left off, and that is going to be chapter 8, pages 163 and 164. And so this has to do with scenarios, events in our lives that loop around in kind of a cyclic fashion, so that we're looking at it and studying those lessons from different angles. What's that called?
You tell me. You have cycle of events, but that's not it. We call it angular learning.
Angular learning. We're going to put up a little diagram for a short time, to give you a better idea of what we're talking about.
Our whole life is made up of cycle of events, which is angular learning. And as we learn each event, we go on to a new event of learning. So the whole thing is a cycle, one cycle after the next of learning.
But it's the same lesson within each scenario. So for example,
each event,
we don't always realize that we're doing it until we're well into it, but sometimes when you're watching other people, they tend to repeat certain behaviors. And when they're doing that, they're looking at it from different angles. So it's not necessarily they haven't learned because they're repeating a certain behavior, but because they're just looking at it from a different point of view.
All events have a 360-degree circle or cycle, or the angles of learning cover 360 degrees in a circle. And with that, until you get to the 360th degree, starting from 0, you're continually learning until you get the moment of saying, I am done with this learning, I understand it, I am ready to conclude it.
And so we're going to share our screen here and show you a little example of what we're talking about. So here is our lesson, and it can be anything. It can be the type of people that we're attracted to, and
that's the most common event in humanity.
It could be any sort of behavior that we have that results in the same type of outcome. It could be with different people, though, right? So, for example, this is an example I like to use. A man or woman is attracted to a partner with addictive personalities. So they may have a partner who drinks a lot, and that relationship ends. And then later on, new relationship picks up, and that partner may smoke pot a lot, Another relationship may be a different type of addiction problem. And so what they're doing is each time that scenario loops around at this different station. So we're going from the beginning of the lesson here at 0 degrees, and then each line here is a different lesson. So this is a 45-degree angle. Each angle has a mathematical equivalency. So when, say, this is the lesson in the middle here that we're looking at from this angle has a mathematical equivalency. So, we think of it like this would be 45-degree angle, but there's probably a mathematical equation that goes with that, right?
There is.
And so they continue, this relationship ends, and they continue on their life. And as they travel around this grand circle of this lesson, another partnership picks up at this point at 90 degrees, and same scenario, different person. And that ends, and it continues on
until it gets back
all the way around the circle until we get back to the beginning,
which is 360 degrees. By then, you've learned that lesson.
So and
now that will not take a couple of days or a couple of weeks, may take a couple of months, it may take years, it may take a lifetime.
And when you've traveled around this entire circle 360 degrees, what happens?
So you get an epiphany.
You get what?
Epiphany.
Epiphany. You're being so.
You begin to understand what the lesson was about and understand the people that you've been associating with, and you're ready to start a new lesson and leave that particular lesson because it has been corrected.
So at this point, when we've gone all the way around the circle and we come back to the beginning, we have viewed it from 8 angles. And our mentors, the ancients, talk about an octarian view, oct meaning 8, and it's viewing the lesson from 8 angles. That gives you complete understanding. And so when somebody has traveled around that circle and viewed it from all angles, then they get their epiphany that Kent was talking about. The light bulb comes on, you understand it, and you shift and you create a new behavior, right? New choices, new decisions. You're done with that lesson. With that lesson also comes a vibrational attunement. You want to talk about that?
No, go ahead. Vibrational attunement is you might wake up in the middle of the night or you might be somewhere and you begin to vibrate for a short period, which is attuning your vibration to a higher level of understanding.
And it's the physical body that's attuned also, right?
Yes.
So it's the spiritual body and the physical body that receive this vibrational attunement to a higher understanding.
Correct.
And that also, all of these exercises are correcting our understanding to a deeper truth, which is also corrects our understanding mathematically, right?
It's supposed to.
It's supposed to. So, so we don't have to necessarily criticize people that keep repeating certain behaviors, right?
No, you just keep them in love or friendship. Tell them how much you care for them.
How much you love them.
Continue to learn their lesson. Only step in when they are in jeopardy of becoming in a dangerous situation.
Always tell them that you love them, that you're there for them, but recognize that they are learning a lesson. And if we jump in and bail them out, we're interrupting the lesson.
But only jump in if you see an absolute danger of their life.
That's right. When there's physical danger and physical harm to themselves or others, we need to intervene.
So it all comes out with a meaningful understanding of what you just accomplished.
So all these events are for learning, every event in our life. So we can glean greater levels of understanding from everything that's happening in this partial holographic field. It's not complete, it's a partial holographic field. So meditation kind of fills in the blanks, right?
Well, meditation can. Not everyone is able to get into a meditation. Even if you don't get into a deep transcendental meditation, it will at least calm you and create a temporary peace around you.
Now, science has discovered rather recently that the cerebral cortex, the outer portion of the brain, when we're sleeping and when we're in meditation, continues to work. And what it's doing is piecing together the story. It's connecting the dots. And so when we dream and when we meditate, it enables us to start correlating these events and creating a meaningful sort of understanding.
You're filling in the picture so you see the whole,
yes,
not a partial.
And so that's why meditation is important. The trance state, now we often use meditation for what we're doing, which is really goes into a trance state. And that's a deeper meditation.
Yeah, not everyone can do that.
That's right.
We have to understand not only your meditation, but your dreams, but we have to understand and be able to interpret what these mean. A lot of things are metaphoric, and so they don't mean exactly what you see in a metaphoric state. We have to interpret it and understand what the meaning might mean.
And so how would you do that? Ask
your wife or your partner. No. You could get a dream dictionary that would help you understand. It won't tell you it will not tell you the solution to the problem, but it'll direct you towards understanding it.
It'll help you understand what you're trying to do on a soul level. So good dream dictionary. We like one called I Had the Strangest Dream. That's the name of it.
Mm-hmm.
It's a good one because it has a spiritual evaluation of dreams and visions.
When you're in this event stage of 8 views and you dream a particular metaphoric dream, look it up. It'll help you understand the event that you're dreaming about, the event of this 8 angular view.
And so as we are piecing this together, what lesson, the big lesson that we're learning at the time, we are, as we look at it from different angles, and that developing picture, it's evolving. And the meaning of that event will change as we look at it in different aspects. And so
only if we become aware of what we're looking at.
And yeah, and what I was just going to say is that people who do not do their introspection, that they tend to also be those who blame others because they don't want to look inside, and a lot of that is fear. But that's when all of this happens, is through that introspection, and that can be done during meditation is we're just introspecting,
Mhm.
and we're trying to understand the events that happened in our life. And so it's that truth is ever evolving. So then the value of the consequence of our understanding is the end result of all the data collecting and all that introspection and our final interpretation. And that is when we have that vibrational attunement, we have the epiphany,
Right.
and then
All
we
we
shift
talked about.
and we make different decisions.
When we talked about it. So each concept of the formula has a mathematical meaning. It can be mathematical equivalency of each angle or whatever you want to call it. But mathematically, it would be corrected as you learn and go around the angular viewing of a complete event.
And we're being told, take our time. Don't rush to a conclusion, because being rushed is ineffective in coming to a greater understanding.
So communication allows, I should say meditation allows communication. And assist to your understanding and correcting what you thought was right. It may not have been, but it'll help correct your understanding.
That's also the point at which you can receive spiritual guidance, and they are thoughts that are delivered from your spiritual guide to you. They come forth like a thought, like your own thought, but what they're doing is they're filling in the blanks for you. And you can ask for clarity in whatever it is that you're trying to understand. And so when you're on the path and you're dedicated to your spiritual evolvement, you will be assigned a spiritual guide that will help you with those understandings.
Correct.
So that's why meditation is important also, is because that's when we quiet our minds enough to be able to receive the thoughts telepathically from another higher being who is helping us.
Helping us. Not everyone will receive that.
Right.
But
it's only...
you can do it for calming your mind, calming your body, and balancing yourself, balancing your physical self.
And allowing that cerebral cortex to integrate the whole picture and to connect the dots.
We want to say thank you for joining us. This is a little bit shorter than some of them, but thank you for joining us. We hope you enjoy that little scenario we gave you about angular viewing.
Also, we are going to start a podcast here pretty soon, and it'll be on most of the major podcasts, Spreaker and different things. But once we get that all set up, we will let you know about that. So we have some very fun and exciting things coming to you this year. A second book in the Augmentation of Man series, The Acquiescence of Humanity, and a podcast.
Right. And the book will be out before December. We'll probably be out sometime first part of November, as we see it.
Well,
right now. That's 2 months away.
September to November, in that time frame, but we'll let you know. Thank you for joining us. And if you haven't done so already, please subscribe. Peace be with you on your journey.
Take care.
Take care now. Bye-bye.